15 covert signs of a high-functioning psychopath. You've heard of wolves in sheep's clothing, right? Today, we're shining a light on the secret signs of high-functioning psychopaths who are lurking in plain sight. Buckle up, this is going to be a revelation. 1. Charm overload. High-functioning psychopaths are often incredibly charming. Now, we're not talking about your everyday casual charm. This is an almost magnetic charisma that draws you in and makes you feel special. It isn't your typical kindness or friendliness. No, this charm is meticulously crafted. High-functioning psychopaths know just what to say and how to behave to pull you into their web. It's important to note that this charm isn't genuine. It's manipulative, and it's utilised to gain trust, favour, or to exploit situations. 2. Emotional detachment. Now imagine you're watching a sad movie with someone, and while everyone is sobbing, this person is just there, unmoved. High-functioning psychopaths might not connect emotionally with situations or people the way most of us do. It's not that they can't feel, it's just that they often don't experience emotions with the same depth. This emotional shallowness can be disconcerting. While it's not an absolute indicator on its own, combined with other signs, it can be telling. 3. Pathological lying. Who loves a good lie? High-functioning psychopaths, that's who. But what separates them from the rest of us, who might tell a small white lie every now and then, is the sheer frequency and ease with which they tell untruths. They lie even when there's no clear benefit to it. These lies can be big, small, inconsequential, or game-changing, and when caught, they'll weave another web of deceit effortlessly, or even deny the undeniable. It's a continuous cycle. 4. Impulsivity. Ever seen someone act without thinking of the consequences, then wonder how they could have possibly thought that was a good idea? High-functioning psychopaths can be incredibly impulsive. While they may often appear calculated, there are times when they just act without a single thought for the consequences. This impulsivity can be seen in various facets of their lives, from personal decisions to financial ones. 5. Manipulation. The puppet masters of the human world, high-functioning psychopaths are skilled manipulators. They have an uncanny ability to twist situations, play with emotions, and get people to do things they wouldn't ordinarily do. Manipulation for them isn't just a tactic, it's almost a way of life. They find ways to extract what they want from situations while leaving others none the wiser. High-functioning psychopaths don't just manipulate for immediate gains. For them, manipulation is almost like a finely tuned instrument, a craft they've honed over the years. They can perceive vulnerabilities, weaknesses, desires, and fears in others, exploiting them for their personal gain. This might manifest in various scenarios, from personal relationships where they might gaslight partners, to workplaces where they may manipulate team dynamics for their own recognition. The truly eerie part? They might be so good at it that you'd thank them, completely oblivious to the strings being pulled behind the curtain. 6. Superficial charm. We touched on charm overload earlier, but let's dive a bit deeper about the type of charm. High-functioning psychopaths can often converse on numerous topics, appear interested in what you're saying, and even mimic emotions perfectly. However, when you scratch the surface, the depth is often lacking. Their charm is a tool, not a genuine trait. Building on the notion of superficial charm, let's think about its implications. When conversing with a highly functioning psychopath, you might feel like you're the centre of their universe. Their eyes lock onto yours, their words resonate, and their seeming interest in your stories feels intoxicating. However, behind that veneer of engagement often lies a calculated game. They're gathering information, creating a mental dossier, if you will, on how to interact with, influence, or even control you in the future. It's not genuine intrigue, it's tactical strategy. 7. Consistent boredom. Psychopaths have a threshold for boredom that's incredibly low. They constantly seek stimulation and excitement, often leading to the aforementioned impulsivity. It's not just about seeking fun, it's about filling a void that never seems to be satisfied. To elaborate on the ever-present boredom, it's almost as if they're in a perpetual state of seeking the next adrenaline rush. The world, with its routine humdrum, doesn't satiate their hunger for exhilaration. They might engage in reckless activities, not necessarily for the joy of the act, but for the sheer unpredictability and risk associated with it. This perpetual quest for excitement could lead them to create drama, instigate situations, or stir the pot just to watch the ripples. 8. Lack of responsibility. The classic blame game. High-functioning psychopaths rarely, if ever, take responsibility for their actions. It's always someone else's fault, or the circumstances were against them. Accountability is a foreign concept, and they often believe they're above the rules that apply to mere mortals. Zooming in on responsibility, or the lack thereof, we find an intricate web of deflection. High-functioning psychopaths seem to exist in a world where they're never at fault. If things go wrong, they have an arsenal of excuses, rationalizations, and scapegoats at the ready. This perpetual victimhood isn't just about avoiding blame, it's about maintaining an image of infallibility. They create a world where they're either the hero or the martyr, never the villain. 9. Lack of guilt. Imagine doing something wrong and feeling nothing. That's the realm of high-functioning psychopaths. Guilt, a sentiment that keeps many of us in check, might be absent here. They can damage property, hurt people, and move on without the emotional baggage that would weigh the rest of us down. Diving deeper into the absence of guilt is a chilling space to navigate. Most of us experience guilt as a moral compass, guiding us when we veer off course. For high-functioning psychopaths, this compass either doesn't exist or points in a very different direction. Their actions, no matter how hurtful, are just a means to an end. The collateral emotional damage they inflict isn't something they lose sleep over. Instead, it's brushed off, rationalised, or simply ignored. 10. Promiscuous behavior. No, not every player is a psychopath, but high-functioning psychopaths often exhibit promiscuous behavior without attachment or emotion. It's not about love or even attraction to them. It's about conquest, manipulation, and sometimes just plain boredom. Promiscuity, as exhibited by high-functioning psychopaths, is not just about physical acts. It's an intricate dance of dominance, control, and ego-boosting. Every conquest reaffirms their prowess, their ability to charm, and their perceived superiority. Relationships, to them, are not about emotional connections, but rather opportunities. Opportunities to control, to exert dominance, or simply to alleviate their boredom. It's a game, and others are mere pawns on their chessboard. 11. Grandiose self-worth. Think of someone with an inflated ego, then amplify it. High-functioning psychopaths often have an exaggerated sense of their self-worth and importance. They genuinely believe they're special, deserving, and superior to others. This isn't just confidence, it's a skewed self-perception. Let's expand on this grandiosity. It's not just thinking highly of oneself. High-functioning psychopaths may believe they're destined for greatness and possess unique abilities unseen in ordinary folk. They view the world through a lens tinted with their own brilliance. Conversations, interactions, and even conflicts are opportunities for them to reassert their perceived superiority. They'll regale you with tales of their accomplishments, conveniently glossing over failures, or better yet, reshaping them into heroic narratives. 12. Lack of empathy. Empathy is what makes us human, right? The ability to feel for others and to understand their pain, joy, and emotions. High-functioning psychopaths might lack this fundamental quality. They can mimic it, sure, but genuine heartfelt empathy is often missing. We're talking about a fundamental disconnect with the human experience. While they can intellectually understand emotions, truly feeling or resonating with another's pain or joy is a foreign concept. They can witness sorrow, tragedy, or elation and remain emotionally untouched. They might mimic empathy, offer comforting words, but it's more about fitting into societal norms than genuine concern. 13. Short-term relationships. Ever wonder why some people jump from one relationship to the next, never truly settling? High-functioning psychopaths struggle with long-term emotional connections. They might get bored, find it hard to emotionally connect, or simply want to move on to the next conquest. Due to their lack of deep emotional connectivity, they often find sustained relationships tedious. The initial stages, filled with charm, conquest, and control, are exhilarating. But once the chase ends and the novelty wears off, they become restless. This doesn't just apply to romantic relationships either. Friendships, business partnerships, and even familial ties might undergo the same ebb and flow. Others may view them as fickle, afraid of commitment, or perpetually chasing new horizons. However, beneath this lies a deeper challenge, an inherent struggle to forge and maintain lasting emotional bonds. 14. Juvenile delinquency. Past behaviour can often predict future actions. Many highly functioning psychopaths showed signs of juvenile delinquency. This doesn't mean every rebellious teen is on the spectrum, but it's a sign when viewed in combination with other traits. Childhood and teenage years are pivotal periods of growth and moral grounding. For many high-functioning psychopaths, these years may have been marked by consistent rule-breaking, defiance, and pushing the boundaries. Their actions during these years might have been a precursor, a foreshadowing of their future tendencies. While teenage rebellion is common, their pattern tends to be more intense, persistent, and devoid of genuine remorse. Now you know the signs of covert psychopathy. Further your understanding by learning about the most commonly used manipulation tactics, or the best way to spot if someone is being fake. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up, share, and subscribe for more insights.